let me say a couple of things as part of my introduction. He describes himself as a man on a path of awakening, discovery perhaps as well. We're going to talk about that after you introduce yourself. So guys, please welcome Karel Gibbels.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, my book is a compilation of short poems and stories, and the title is Knowing the Heart, and this tells a lot about what the stories and poems are about. There is a kind of knowledge which is in the heart, and this knowledge is much different from the mind, which much the foundation is of the society today, that the whole society is built on the mind, what we think life is. And I have found out in my life, in what awakened inside of me, that there is a knowledge. When you open yourself for it, it's a completely different system of life. It's really alive. And from this knowledge, this feeling, the lyrics came out of my heart. And I have gone a path which most people don't go. I looked into the world when I was much younger, and I thought, what is life about? What are people doing to each other? And I didn't understand, and I had to find answers for this, otherwise I couldn't go on. And I have found these answers, and these answers are what I said: there is a knowledge in the heart which you can start to trust, which you can start to trust in your life, that this really is the truth, and which you can follow, which you can listen to. And then way I went in my life through the darkness, through all my pain and despair, and this all I will start, which tells a bit about what my process was. It all started with a kind of poem which awakened inside of me, and it was a kind of vision. After that it all happened, what is in this poem. It's awakened in 1987. Loveliness, warmth, kindness, inner peace, tenderness flow through my heart. No desire, no confusion. A flower bud in me burst open. Slowly a love radiating flower flourishes. Life is filled with intimacy, depth, essentiality. I went to the core, the being of my life. An intimate entanglement with treasured companions, each energizing, we sow the love radiating seed which once will produce beautiful flowers. Full of love, we will embrace each other. We will dance on the sound that is welling inside. Our love will bring more and more seeds to develop. More and more hearts will be filled with love. Eyes will open for the being of life. From confusion and despair arose love. Love for the world. Love for the people. Opening hearts, planting seeds, breaking rigidity, growing sunbeams to set the world aglow. Hate and isolation transformed into openness and love. Everyone dances to the music that emanates from their own hearts, but they get not tired. Their hearts give them strength. Strength to be a child again. Strength to be themselves again. Strength to be free again. So this tells a bit about my own path from which this awakened, but when this came out, then it hadn't happened at all yet. After that I came in a period of much despair and pain and fear and anger and not understanding, but after that came all the answers about the deep questions which I have had in my life. And if I wouldn't have had those answers to my questions, I wouldn't be here anymore. So it was really not a hobby or something like that. And I want to say this book is a translation from Dutch, and I've translated it myself, so it's a bit the energy of the original inspiration I've tried to bring back in English, but the original is a bit different. And I want to conclude, which I've chosen a text, maybe it's more suitable for people, because what I want to share is spiritual, it's about consciousness, about who we are and why we are here, and understanding ourselves, why we are here. But this text I've written for somebody, and it tells also a bit about my process with my father, which was a bit difficult, the connection with my father, but I came to a point after understanding life better and better of forgiveness about all that happened. And this I expressed in this poem with which I want to conclude. Beyond, gone are the days of passing by what lies deeply hidden, forced by circumstances to stop. Truth shows its face, darkness exposed to the light. But all this is no judgment, a judgment with condemning and guilt. Only that which was hidden is revealed. Clarity, the fog lifts. Everything and everyone is involved. Crystal clear, not glass hard, is what is confused, disentangled. Patience, which was hard, becomes soft. With courage, but everything can may, nothing should. Many revelations, everything that happens is good. Unravel the knot. Freedom is not for sale. Life is a choice, present or freedom. You decide where the road leads to. Background becomes foreground. Past long ago suffered plays out in the present. A child suffers pain, sorrow. The door closed, alone, cold, deserted. Surfaced away, left alone, trapped. Many invisible tears are shed. The key is hidden. Open the door. The key is you. Let the light flow inside. The child is afraid, does not dare to come out alone. Take it lovingly by the hand, because it can still fall. Catch it with understanding. It's not the fault of the child that it falls. It's not the fault of the parents that it falls. The child falls. But catch it with understanding. understand. The child is very vulnerable. Protect it with love. Do not crush it under guilt, judgment. Understand that you determine life for the child. Now, this moment. Do not crush it, because it will run back. It will close the door behind it, safely inside, protected from everything outside. Therefore, take it by the hand, prepare the way, see all the links, solve the riddles, understand the pitfalls, heal what is broken, building bridges across ravines, be light in darkness. Uncover the illusions that seem true. Does the child have a question? Find out what the answer is. Be safe, be safety. Let it crawl into your arms of trust until you can let go of the child without fear and full of joy to converted life. It's free! You freed it, and it has freed you. What happened, you can now, with your total being, forgive. You are the child. The child is you. There is no goodbye.
And you gave me a piece of advice that I thought was interesting. You said when I read your work before I read it, to open myself up and read, let it speak to my heart. I think when I read, I always read with my heart, but okay, that's it. Because obviously it's an advice to a reader. You have potential readers here with us. Could you explain that to us, to me? How do I do that? How do I open my heart even more than I do as I read anything else?
Now, it is a general advice that many times when we, not only by reading but also by approaching life, that we already have an idea about what life is, what the other is, how she is, and what is needed, and all kinds of mind ideas about what is standing there. But reading with your heart, with an open heart, is that in a way that you don't know anything before you read it, that you really open yourself for the words and let the words speak to you as you have known nothing. Yeah. So really with an open, empty heart.
Yeah. Just be a blank in your head, in your heart, and just let it come to you.
Yeah.
I had a difficulty categorizing your work because on the one hand, my first impression was it's poetry, because it's lyrical in quite a big sense also, but not quite. It's not quite poetry. It's something else, and I was curious to ask you about that. How do you categorize your own work?
It's not really poetry, because it's also longer texts about subjects, and for me it's not about the form in a way. For me it's about what it contains, what I want to share, and then it comes out of me without thinking, without idea what I want to share. There's a subject and it comes out in very short time, so I don't think about a long time what should I write.
You're like stream of consciousness.
It's really a stream of consciousness. Okay. which streams out, so it can get all kinds of forms, and in this book it is really poem forms, and other are more longer texts about the kind of subject.
Well, it was beautiful stuff. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Are there any questions from the audience? Things you really want to ask Al?
Yes, you can also buy the Dutch version. Yes.
Thank you so much once again, and thank you all for hanging out and visiting with us. Thanks, guys.